Good morning, everyone. Today we are drawing Neurographica. Even though I am doing different styles of art, but I also use Neurographica in my practices. So today is drawing in neurographic style or Neurographica. Today we're gonna draw neuroatom algorithm as of gratitude practice. I love this gratitude practice. There are many different gratitude practice, but this is one of my favorite gratitude practices, drawing neuroatom. And as you probably know already, that many arts, not many, all arts, if you do something artsy for 20 minutes a day, your stress level is less. It lowers the cortisol level. So there is a big foundation. It's called NeuroArts Foundation or organization, and they are doing real scientific researches about neuroarts. They call it neuroarts, but that includes all sorts of arts: music, dancing, drawing, any kind of crafting. So this is what I have noticed in myself. When I was in depression, I was going through a very challenging time of my life, and I start intuitively. I start drawing dots on rocks. Actually, I drew for a couple months very many rocks. I used to go for a walk on the beach and collect rocks and then start drawing on them. And then but I realized that rocks are heavy, and what do I do with them then later? So I was looking for something else because I noticed that I feel better, that there is something else left in life that I want to do. It was something to do with art. So I started drawing Graphica. And then later, that teacher who I was learning Graphica, actually, she started drawing NeuroGraphica, interestingly. So I joined NeuroGraphica also. But I am doing other things too. I draw on bark, all sorts of things. And I used to knit and crochet and macrame when I was young. I loved it. So I do believe that arts are really helping mentally, psychologically, and I have experience of my own that 3 years ago I was in quite bad time, quite bad situation psychologically, and now I am okay. So this is my short introduction, and we will start drawing now. I will change the camera. So I'm assuming that you all know how to draw a Neuroline, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. You can watch my videos on my channel, and there are explanations, a few of them, how to draw a Neuroline. So today we are drawing algorithm called neuroatom, and this neuroatom of gratitude. What I usually do in the beginning of my practices on all drawings, not just Neurographica, but on all of them, on graphical decomposition, on anything that I draw, I always, on one side of the paper that I draw, I write down the date. Whether you want to do it or not, it's up to you. But if you're going to do Neurographica properly, as it is recommended by the author, then you will need to write it down. And today, we're not going to write all the proper steps because this is just a gratitude practice for me, not full, proper NeuroGraphica drawing by real algorithm and steps by steps with writing down your reflection. This is just a short practice. But I'm still writing down date and the topic, which is gratitude. And then I write it down usually if I'm drawing by myself or if I'm guiding the lesson or if I'm drawing with another instructor so who I'm drawing. So today I'm gonna write guiding. If I would draw with somebody else, I would write I'm drawing with this and this instructor. This is the reason I'm doing this because sometimes I look back at my drawings and then I want to know what it means. For example, like this, I look in the back, oh, I remember right away who I was drawing and what topic it was, and then it's easier to reflect rather than just keep guessing what that was about. So this is that's how I write, and then on the other page, on the other side of the page, we are starting to draw atom, neuroatom, which represents. So let's draw this, and then I will talk when we do roundings. So we draw. Oh, it's not drawing. Okay. So we draw a circle, large circle, in your paper. Doesn't matter what size you take. You know, I'm drawing on A4, and if you want to do practice longer, then you take a larger piece of paper and a thinner marker. But if you want to do faster with intention, sometimes we don't have time and we still want to do it. And sometimes we want to take time and actually do it longer. Then accordingly, how you want to do it, you take the size of the paper and the thickness of the marker. Because on a smaller piece of paper, it's faster to do it, and with a thicker marker, it's also faster. Today, it's my normal size A4, and a normal size of marker, it is 1 millimeter. So we draw this atom, this round circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, and we can do it a few times around. You can't possibly do perfect. Well, maybe some excellent artists can, but that's not the point to make it perfect. The point is to make it round, and it actually easier for us subconsciously to accept this as a round when it's not exactly perfect, because in nature there is nothing perfect, and what is natural we accept it easier, better, as it's ours, versus like on a concept friend of or foe, we accept as a friend when the circle is natural. So there are these lines also, the neurographic lines are also accepted by our subconscious as friends rather than foe. For example, if those lines are like this, then this is not natural lines, and we accept subconsciously that these are not exactly our friends. But when we see those natural lines, they are more acceptable as friends, because they are natural lines you can see in river flows, in tree branches, in clouds, in smoke, how it rises, etc. So this is one of the concepts, but in doing any kind of arts, doing graphical arts also with straight lines, it's still very helpful for our health and well-being, because we're still doing something. So this now, after we have this round circle atom, now we will focus on our topic of gratitude. And each time we draw a line, a neurographic line, I will think, and you do it for yourself, what am I grateful for? I am grateful that I got up this morning healthy and well. I am grateful that I can draw. I really enjoy doing it. And I'm grateful that I have opportunity to do it. I'm very grateful that I even can share this knowledge and this practice with others. So I am very grateful that I have materials to draw with. I'm very grateful that I know this method, that I am taking care of myself when I'm taking time to do something like this. This is care for yourself. This is a self-love, and I'm grateful to myself that I can do this. So after you do these grateful statements for yourself, and draw enough lines, then, and enough lines, you decide how many is enough. So you can do more than this or less than this. It's totally up to you. You decide it. For me, I decide now this is enough for me, and now I will start rounding. This step in NeuroGraphica, it's called rounding, where we round all the corners that we made, which represents, according to NeuroGraphica, represents the conflicts that is made by crossings. So in this practice, we round all the corners, and as we round it, we stay focused on gratitude. Again, we keep staying focused of the topic that we chose. This is also very good practice on focusing. It's not just gratitude, but also focusing. And then reflecting. What reflecting means is we observing. When we draw this, once in a while we ask ourselves, okay, how do I feel? How do I feel when I draw this? Do I feel frustrated, or do I feel calm? Do I feel like it is calming when I do this? Ask yourself these questions. Also, ask yourself, how is my body responding? Do I pressure the marker, for example, in my hands? How is my hands? Are they uptight? Are they crossed, or they are moving? Or it doesn't matter where they are. You're just noticing. This is practice of noticing. There is no right or wrong way to keep your feet like on the ground or off the ground, or even if you're drawing sitting in a bed. It doesn't matter. What it matters is your observation, that you notice yourself, you reflecting, you are learning how to notice yourself and how to observe yourself. And then after you learn that, then you start making decisions according to your own feelings. It helps to make your own decisions according to your feelings, how you actually feel versus that somebody else. This is excellent skill that we all should learn, because in these days where our focus is so defocused, so scrambled, so fragmented in so many ways, with short videos of on social media, with short messages of reading only a sentence or two, where it's difficult, especially for young people who are growing up with this technology, that it's difficult for them even to read a book. In my time, I was enjoying reading books. Now I hear my friends are sharing that their kids cannot even possibly read a book because their focus is so so defocused, to say. It's difficult for them to focus on one task for a longer time than a minute or two. So this is also a practice of focusing on one task and focusing on your own feelings also, on your feelings emotionally, on your thoughts, what's in your thoughts, and in your body. How does your body feel? Because we rarely feeling our body and connecting the emotional feelings to the thoughts and to the body. Sometimes we don't even make a correlation at all. But the body actually keeps memory and gives signals to the brain what is actually comfortable, what is actually comforting memory. Sometimes I was reading this actually very interesting research that it was made some, I don't know, a decade ago in Italy, I think, where they did this BF biofeedback on how body reacts differently versus thoughts that people think, automatic thoughts that they have been taught to think and they want to change. So there was rooms decorated in a not very nice interior, something not very expensive, something simple. And there were rooms that were very fancy, very luxurious, and people were going through those rooms, and they were connected with wires to the brains and etc. to see how what they think about those rooms and how their body reacts. And what was interesting that people who grew up not in a luxurious households, their body actually felt comfortable in those not luxurious rooms. But logically, I would say, they were actually wanting to live in those luxurious rooms. And they thought, oh, this is really comfortable to live in this kind of luxury. But their bodies responded differently. Isn't that amazing? Because these people grew up in a not luxurious environment. And so it was subconsciously, these programs within them was saying, yes, that's how you grow up. This is comfortable environment. This is nothing wrong with that. And brain doesn't want to use a lot of energy for learning new things, because learning new things it requires for the brain to use a lot of energy. So the brain rather keep running those old outdated programs that requires less energy than learn new things. So this is when we draw NeuroGraphica or any kind of art, we're doing something new, but it's also telling subconsciously that you are creating, and this creation process is inherent. We are all creators. It's a basic need for us to create something. And when we start creating something like that, like drawing or singing or knitting or crafting, we are getting into this natural, essential, basic needs that we are born with. Perhaps that's why body naturally starts getting harmonized itself when we are creating. That's why the cortisol level drops. The cortisol is a stress hormone, and when there is a research that if you do arts for 20 minutes a day, for 20 minutes, then the cortisol starts dropping because you get into this calming waves, calming brain waves, and brain sends a signal, do not produce cortisol anymore because there is no more danger. You are calm and you don't need that pumping cortisol. So this gratitude atom is, and the meaning, also the meaning what you are drawing adds another layer. That was very interesting when you just doodling without any meaning. Yes, it is also helpful, but when you add meaning, for example, like this atom drawing gratitude, then it's even more powerful. Then the effect of calming is even more powerful when you add meaning, when you choose consciously to add meaning to your drawing. This is quite amazing to me. It's so now we rounded and made some sort of coherence in this drawing. It looks beautiful, and now when you look at it, ask yourself, how do you feel? I feel good. I feel that I am calming. I was a little bit nervous before the meeting because I still need to draw and to talk to you. I need to remember what to say. Rather, not to remember, but I'm not really have a script what to say. I am talking from the flow, let's say, with no script, just telling what comes to my mind when I'm drawing. But in the beginning, it was a little bit um, stressful that I was thinking, oh, what if I'm stopped? What if I don't know what to say? And when I start drawing, I feel more calmed and I keep talking because this drawing calms me and allows my mind to focus on what I'm doing, on guiding this drawing meeting, this class. So now that we rounded, if you haven't rounded, you can stop the video and finish the rounding. And then now after we rounded up, we're gonna add color. In NeuroGraphica, the color we add is this way, not to one cell. I hope you already know because I already showed this also in my other YouTube videos, and you probably know from other instructors that you have learned. So not like this, but going through few cells, two or more, over the boundaries of those lines, and we add color like this intuitively, however you want to. You can add meaning to the color, or you can just pick the color intuitively and add as you like. You are the artist. You decide how to add that color, and you can draw with different kind of materials, with pencils, with markers, with highlighters. With highlighters, it's good to draw because when you draw over the boundaries of those lines, for example, those black lines, then you can still see through. When you draw with the dark markers, sometimes it's hard to see the boundaries after you drew over with the marker. So, and also when you draw with pencils, it takes longer. Sometimes you can choose to draw with pencils if you want to take longer your practice. But with highlighters, it's the fastest to do this practice with highlighters, at least in the beginning. There are new rules in NeuroGraphica that right now you have to use highlighters. So it's up to you. You follow these rules or not, because these are the rules that the author wants to enforce it. For whatever reason, there are rules changing all the time. Sometimes you can't keep up with those changes. It's up to you to keep up with changes or draw how you want to. It's your choice. I'm not gonna push it on you. I am doing it right now with highlighters because this is recording and I don't want to stay for 3 hours drawing with pencils, but I often draw with pencils. For me, it is nice. It's more beautiful. I know better how to use it because it's still art, and I'm not really an artist. I didn't have any training prior to start drawing. I just started drawing intuitively when I got in this depression of mine. So I'm just doing for the reason to feel better. But when I start drawing, when I kept drawing, I wanted to do it beautifully, of course, because it's natural to want to do your drawings beautifully, or your art to make it beautiful, of course. So I start learning some techniques from different instructors, because NeuroGraphica instructors, some of NeuroGraphica instructors are real artists and they draw amazing, beautiful drawings. Some of them are psychologists, so it depends on the person how they use NeuroGraphica more artistically, and then they go towards NeuroArts, and some of them draw as a psychologist for their practice. So it depends. And I was learning, I was choosing the instructors who are artists, and I took a few courses from them and learned a few tricks. And also I was practicing. It's not just the tricks, you can learn the tricks on YouTube just watching, and that doesn't work that way. You still need to practice. So I don't know. I got 3 colors. It doesn't matter how many colors, but sometimes when the drawing like this is not so big and too many colors can make sort of, but I still want to add purple. And you don't have to color all of it, because white is also color, even though in some cultures like India, they say that white is absent of color, but it's up to you. You can keep some whites not colored right now. Sometimes I do keep white color left, but today I want to color the whole atom. And I breathe. I notice that I exhaled. What does it mean? Sometimes when we ask ourselves that, oh, I hold my marker pressured. So what does it mean? I let it go. I want to let it go. But what does it mean? Or for example, I exhaled. What does it mean? In general, it means when you're exhaling, you're letting go. So something, my body is letting go from this practice, probably from doing this gratitude practice. The body starts relaxing, and I'm noticing, letting go, relax, relax. So now I finished the coloring, and now we're gonna add um, a few thicker lines. In NeuroGraphica, they called Neurolines. When we add those few thicker lines to the drawing, it's sort of giving a meaning that I am giving a meaning that I accept some higher power, divine, godly, universe, however you want to call it, that I am accepting the power, that there is something that it's higher than me, that has more power than me, and I'm adding this to my drawing. And another reason we adding this to the drawing, because by doing that, we're adding different thickness to the image that we draw, because when we have different thicknesses, 3 for example, we try to do 3 different thickness of the line, then our brain also sees it as more natural. It gives 3D impression. So it accepts better. It accepts more as a truth that the meaning that we gave when we add the different thicknesses to the lines, because there is no the same lines. For example, if you draw branch of the tree, if you look in the nature, there are no the same lines. All branches are different thicknesses. So this is how you can think about that. This thickness of the lines adds a natural impression to the drawing. And when you do these lines, when you add those fill lines, those thicker lines, then there are sharp corners made occur again. So then we go over and we round them up again. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm rounding them up and thinking how grateful I am that I am spending time this for myself, taking care of myself by drawing. Oops, my marker just bleeded because I pressed too hard. I don't throw away markers right away. I add some ink to preserve, so I can save money, and I don't want to do waste because they finish very fast. And now I pressed it too hard and it bled. So now that we have those different sizes, different thickness of the lines, see, like these lines are one size and this is so much thicker, but these are two sizes. So to make a third size, what are we gonna do? We're gonna make the third size, third thickness of the line by rounding and filling with black. Right now what I'm doing, if you're drawing in black, then you fill with black or whatever color you chose to draw atom with. This is what I'm doing. I'm covering these white spots and making this affixing. In NeuroGraphica, it's called affixing step. When you affix the most important elements in your drawing, and since this is only one element in this algorithm, this atom, the circle, you can change your position when you're drawing. You can turn around the page. It's totally up to you. You don't have to do it, just twist your arm doing in one way. I was trying, I often turn my page, but I was trying to do from one position because I'm doing the recording. Even though on this algorithm, when it's round, it doesn't matter which size, but you just choose which side is you want to look at it. My position, my direction is this, but when I draw, I can twist it and turn it so it's more comfortable for my hand. But then I go back to this position because this is a direction I want to keep. See, now that we added the third line, this atom really gets impression of 3D more because it's a third thickness. And now we can add more beauty, more make better impression to what we already did by, for example, adding coloring with pencils. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add color, more shades to the drawing so it looks prettier, it gives a stronger impression, and that's what we want. We want a strong impression so we remember better, because we remember things that gives strong impression, and that depends on repetition and intensity of the emotion. So when we have traumatic some experiences, that's why we remember them, because it was strong emotional response, and then it gave strong impression. So, but we can do these impressions in a positive way. We make the impression stronger by adding more beauty to our drawing. How you color it, again, it depends on the level you know how to, but it's still helpful that you're doing it, like I said before. This is taking care for yourself, doing something beautiful, creating something, and harmonizing your emotional balance. You're harmonizing your nervous system. You're making your nervous system more evenly balancing. Everything depends on nervous system. All emotions are regulating on the responses of nervous system, of the limbic system. So sometimes I add this orange color to the yellow. It gives this shade that I like that. And then remember, how do you feel? What do you see in this atom? Do you see some sort of images that associated with? I drew so many atoms of gratitude. All my atoms, actually. I don't know. Maybe there are something different, but definitely over 90% of neuroatoms that I was drawing, they were the gratitude atoms. Became my number one gratitude practice, drawing this atom. Sometimes when you draw and you watch the drawing from so close, it's good to look at it from a little bit further and see how the drawing looks. Also, another trick is to look at the screen. For example, right now I'm drawing and I seeing what I see on the screen, and it looks a little bit different because there are distortions of the color that screen makes. And my drawing is very, very bright on the paper, but when I look on the screen, it's not that bright, and the shading that I'm doing is barely, barely noticeable. So sometimes you can take a picture on your phone or whatever camera and look how drawing looks differently in reality in the paper, and how it looks differently on the camera. That also gives a different impression. Sometimes you don't see what you could add to the drawing, some colors, some lines, and sometimes you see it better on the screen. So I use this trick quite often. I draw and then I look on the camera. So after you make a drawing, please share in our group because it's very inspiring to see other people's drawings. You know, me too. Sometimes I sort of get into this mood. I don't want to draw. I'm lazy or something. And then I see somebody's beautiful drawing and I really want to do that. It gives a motivation and then you go and do it. So it's helpful for others. It's good for you to share too. Then you get support and you get praises about your drawings. That's very kind to have this sort of praises. It's very pleasant to receive praises for your effort, for your work. Everybody likes that. It's not something, egoistic. It's a kind of payoff reward. It's a kind of reward that you actually did something that is liked by others. There is nothing wrong with that at all. So share your drawings for your own reward and also for others that are getting inspired by your art. What else? What else I can do? Look around, turn around your drawing and see how it looks from different directions, and then decide what else you want to add. So you're adding more love to your drawing, to your beauty, to your art. And that feeling, giving love, is also very pleasant. What else can I do? From on the paper, it looks very, very bright, but I look on the screen and I want to do something else. I feel like this is not enough. When you go over with pencils over the highlighters, it also helps to even out the lines that that a highlighter made. Sometimes you want to even out that. This is something like this, and you can also write it down after you draw it, what you actually feel, and give sort of summarize of your feelings and of your process while you were doing the drawing. That is also another layer, another step of self-reflection. It's good to write it down. It's good to write a journal and write it down, your reflection. You know, like when I do journaling too, but sometimes when I draw, it's easier, you know, like for example, as an example of gratitude, when you draw, when you write it down, your gratitude in your journal, it is helpful. It is helpful when you're doing, but the difference is when you draw this gratitude drawing, then you can put this drawing, for example, in a place in your room for on a display, and you can remember right away. You don't need to go back to the journal and list the paper, find the page where you wrote it, and then read it. Because when you look at the written text, you can't really know what's written until you start reading, focusing on it. It's nothing wrong with that, that you need to focus and read. But what I'm saying, the difference is that when you make a drawing, I usually leave this drawing for a few days in a display in a place that I can see it and I remember, and it helps to secure this impression that I was doing. This is a gratitude drawing. I know it. I don't need to write it down. I know it right away what this is about. I remember it right away from just looking at it, from just glancing at it in a few seconds. So this is a difference from when you write and when you draw. You can have a faster impression from looking at the image rather versus the written text. Okay, I think it's enough for me, and my atom looks pretty good. And we did it in 1 hour, which is good, very good, fast. You can do it faster if you do it on your own when you don't talk, when you don't need to explain as I had to. So this is excellent, excellent practice. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I am excited to see your drawings, and please share your drawings. I am excited to see it, looking forward to see your drawings. Thank you for drawing together, and I'll see your drawings later. Have a good day.